Well, welcome to the RBV Show. It's 2024, folks. Well, I got the year right, so that's off to a good start. And we all made it out okay. But we all made it out with a lot more money because good old freaking Kansas City, hit for the lock of the week, and the Ravens hit for the lock of the week. Lock of the week ended on a good note. So what are we going to talk about this episode? We're going to talk about, first off, the weather. I mean, we are expecting a major winter storm. We're going to talk about the controversy with Gus and Coleman. And then we're going to get to the picks of the lock of the week. I guess it's something new for this week, or whatever. Because I completely did the show order in the opposite way. But who knows? I mean, so this episode has been brought to you by, Lindor Chocolates, a good friend of the show. Lindor Chocolates, you can get them at any local CVS. And they're really good. And, if you eat a box of them, you'll be up all night. So kind of, be cautious on that. All right, let's get to the lock of the week. First off, the first game I want to talk about is Pats-Jets. You need to take the under this game. So Sunday is going to be awful weather. I think we all know that in the New England area. They've been pounding the storm into the ground for freaking, pretty much since Monday. It does actually look like it's going to happen. I had the line in front of me. The over-under line is 30.5 points. I think you need to take the under for a couple of reasons. Number one, the weather's going to be horrible. There's rumors that, there's forecasts of 20, 30, 40 mile an hour winds. Number two, Gillette Stadium, the snow will accumulate on the turf, and it's going to slow down both teams. None of these teams have prolific offenses to begin with, so this is going to be a very low, hard-fought game. Number three, I don't think the Jets or the Patriots are going to be that motivated. Neither of these teams are going to the playoffs. If you attempt to go to this game as a fan, and the storm is as bad as they say it is, then that's just stupid. It really, we're probably gonna get like at least like 6, if not a foot of snow, upwards to a foot of snow, especially in Foxborough. Right now the rain snow line is in the canal, so it's not going to change over in Foxborough. So you really need to think about it, if you should go or not. And if you do go, stay safe out there and don't drink and drive. The second lock of the week. It's actually the Cincinnati Bengals, because they need to win this week. They need to win. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're motivated. They're favored by 7 points. I maybe parlay that down. I would maybe run that down to -6 for the hook on the touchdown, so that you win if they get a -7. They need to win. Their playoff lives are at stake, and there's really nothing more than that. They're at home. They have all the reason in the world to go after them, and get after the Browns. And really that's that. I mean, the Browns are, they got a great defense. They're going to be a force in the playoffs, and yeah, that's really it. So I taken the Bengals as the lock of the week, -6. Other interesting games that I guess for the viewers, other games that could be affected by the weather this week. I'm just kind of scrolling down the list. Not Cowboys, Commanders. This storm isn't going to affect Washington D.C. The Cowboys, they're just going to smoke the Skins. No ifs, ands, or buts. Hopefully, the new ownership in D.C. can get a new stadium, because FedEx is an absolute dump. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I have to say on that game. I like the Niners. It's not the lock of the week, but they got a good team. A game that could be impacted by the weather, but probably won't be, is just because it's not. I don't think it's going to accumulate in New York as much as Eagles Giants. I know the Eagles are favored by 5, but with all the stuff that's coming out on WIT about AJ Brown, being a divisive figure on the team, I don't really think it's the time to back the Eagles. I just have a hard time, backing them the way they've been playing. And I also think that, for whatever reason, Sirianni's coordinators last year really, helped the team more than a lot of people thought. So, it's tough because the Eagles have so much talent, but they're not that. Unfortunately, they just haven't had a good year. So who do I like? Michigan. We'll get to the college football national championship. Who do I like? Michigan, Washington. I actually like Penix a lot. I really think he's a good quarterback, and I think he can also lead a team, really lead a team to the national championship. I wouldn't necessarily take them to win, but I would take that plus 4.5 line because I really think this is going to be a close game. I do think Michigan's defense and the rushing attack is going to get to Washington, eventually. I don't think this is gonna be like a high scoring game overnight. I think over under 55, that's a lot. I mean, there's two things bottom line, I guess, Robbie V thoughts on this game. I think Michigan's defense is gonna, probably face one of their biggest challenges of the season, if not the biggest challenge. I think they will, I think Michigan will win, but I don't think that they're going to run away with it. I think this is going to be I think this is going to be a very close game. I think Penix is, for Washington, I think Penix is going to come to play. And, he's just a gamer. He's a great player. And I also think that, finally, Washington's defense might lead to their undoing in this game. And the weather's not going to be a factor because it's in a dome in Houston. So, what are you going to do? So what is going on with the weather here on the RBV Show? So basically, for the Minute fans who live in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island, as you've been hearing all week, there's a winter storm coming. Some of the meteorologists are, a little more bullish on it than others. If I were to do a forecast right now, as the show airing, I honestly think probably southern New Hampshire. You can cut Massachusetts in half by Worcester, and probably into most of Rhode Island, and probably the eastern half of Connecticut, maybe where Foxwoods Mohegan is. You're probably going to get about 6 to 12 inches, and that basically extends to the Cape Cod Canal. That's my best guess right now. But it's a complicated situation because there's 4 pieces of energy that are coming out. One of them is actually coming out with the Pacific Northwest right now. Is actually getting sampled by the weather. By the weather reconnaissance planes. So fresh data is going to come in tonight. And I'll have an update on the storm, on Friday and Saturday. I'll shoot a video for the fans. But what's making this so hard is that if it tracks too much to the north, then the warm air comes up. And then, the major cities like New York, Boston, Long Island, and the Cape will all get rain. But if it stays a little to the south and it explodes, then it'll draw down the cold air, from Canada. And we'll get a lot of snow. Now, the Euro today was the Euro and GFS, the two major weather models. The Euro last night was the first one to really catch on to a big storm for basically eastern Mass, Maine, New Hampshire, and southern New Hampshire and eastern Maine, probably south of maybe down east. It was the first model to catch on to it. The GFS around the 18Z run was finally caught on to this today. And, so now we have model agreement. I mean, there's a couple things with these storms. First off, the track is never set in stone. They use what they call like a grouping of models. Basically, if the Euro runs, it runs a bunch of what they call ensemble models within the Euro. And you can see like low placement and stuff like that. So you can actually see not just the main OP for the main op for the Euro. You can also see all the ensembles, and they do kind of like low positioning and whatnot. And it does matter. I mean, if this thing somehow takes a left turn up into Long Island and goes up the middle of Connecticut, no one's getting snow. And some people would like that, absolutely. But I don't really foresee that happening. So basically, what I'm saying is, probably very southern eastern Maine. Probably Kennebunkport, maybe southern New Hampshire, probably Nashua, go in Massachusetts. Not all of Massachusetts, probably east of Worcester. And again, eastern Connecticut and probably most of Rhode Island. And, obviously the Cape down to the canal, you're probably talking in general 6 to 12 inches. I can't give personalized forecasts for everybody, but, what are you going to do? All right. We're going to move on to the next topic, which is obviously, what we've all been talking about. Is the Coleman, the year-end fiasco with the Minahan, with Kirk and the best of. So I mean, I rarely touch on show topics, but since everyone's talking about this, I figured I might as well give my 2 cents. First off, I think Gus and Coleman. Obviously they made some mistakes that's been rehashed and whatnot. And that's been hacked up to death, and they're taking their beatings and whatnot. But my question is just like, where do we obviously like where are we going from here? I mean, we got a live show up in Maine. Gus, to my knowledge, is suspended for 2 weeks, and Coleman suspended for 1. I mean, can these guys come back from the dead and get it together? My feeling is, I think Coleman can. I think they both can. I mean, I hope to God they can, because this is a huge wake up call for them. I think they learned a lot. Unfortunately, this is probably one of the big, their big job, and they had a big project, and yeah, they fucked it up, blew it, etc. But I think they probably, this is a time where they're going to learn a lot from it. If obviously, if Kirk decides to keep both of them, and I also think this is a time where you learn from your mistakes. You freaking roll up your sleeves and just get to work. And I think they honestly can do that. They're both good people. I think Gus didn't make some good moves, and I think Coleman didn't make some good moves. I think those moves have been very, very well stated throughout the last 96 hours or 120 or how many hours it's been. I mean, I hope they, when they get to, when they produce, or if they're a part of the Portland show, I hope they do a damn good job, because they were hired for a reason. It's time to showcase their talents. Also, free advice was just lay it out on the line. Make the best Portland videos if you can, and for the fans, because we all deserve it. I guess lastly to me is like, we keep talking about this wrap up video. The year-end video we've talked about. We've hacked it up to death. With every great fall, there should be some redemption. Why not do a first quarter review, Minahan review, first quarter video for the live show? Have the people vote on it. I mean, I keep saying I'm all about the people. I mean, you're gonna have 2,000 or 1,900 or 1,800. I don't know what the fuck the capacity of that place is, but you're gonna have 1,800 Minifans who are gonna be live judges ready to vote. I'm just throwing that out there. That is my 2 cents on the whole thing. I hope he keeps them both, and I hope people just knuckle up and get to work. That's it. I'm going to talk some BC football. They've obviously they've had a great transfer class. Again, Halfley amazingly has getting guys to buy in, and we're going to see where it goes. It was, to wrap up BC football, it wasn't the best season, but it ended, beating SMU, taking care of business was really good. And I definitely appreciate that. I don't think it's going to, spur season ticket sales, but that's life. Halfway's got a lot of work to do, and he's coaching for his job next year. So he's got to knuckle up and, or get in, or whatever you want to talk about. And that's it, All right. Dope of the days. I mean, I saw Coleman and Gus last week, so they're not dope of the days. Dope of the day is actually the waitress that my wife and I had at a restaurant there. She just couldn't get it together. And also goes to the fucking jabronis who were next door to the table. Like, if you're ordering Italian food, that's fine, but I got news for you. Guys don't need to talk to death about the intricacies of fucking ziti and rotini. I mean, and linguine. Pasta's pasta. Get a fucking grip. I mean, I just don't understand. And it took them like a half hour to freaking order apps and entrees. It's just, I mean, it was only 6 people. It's unacceptable. I don't think they were really ready to go out. I mean, on New Year's, I think either they either got plowed, beforehand and couldn't read a menu, which hopefully they Ubered, or the moment was too big for them to go out on New Year's. I don't know. Also, the bartender at the hotel I stayed at, Tony. Tony's dope of the day. I mean, who the hell closes the bar on New Year's Eve at freaking 10 o'clock? I mean, that's unacceptable. I mean, our bartender last year was much better. He kept the bar open till 1. And we got freaking Tony here closing them. He was a nice man, don't get me wrong, but it's dope of the day move, not closing the bar at 10 o'clock on New Year's Eve. It's just unacceptable in my eyes. MVPs, obviously, the Ravens, their MVP, And I give Michigan. I was hoping they were going to win. I'm glad they beat Alabama. And walk of the week. It goes to the two jabronis in front of, at me at Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, these guys, it took them about 15 minutes to order coffee. And not only that, but the idiot at the liquor store who was looking at high noons like they were like an international wonder of the world. It's just like, dude, it's trying to pick up 4. Like, get the fuck out of the way. It's just absolutely ridiculous. All right. That's the show, folks. That's the lock of the week. Now, a couple things. I'm going to be providing storm updates starting tomorrow on my Twitter at RobV So, enjoy the updates. Secondly, I want you to invite. Well, who am I inviting? Anyway, I want you to watch Steve from Gloucester, Quantum Kirk, Mount Kirkmore, and other great shows on the network. Oh, and Michael the Minifans, of course. It's good network programming. Third, I just want you to go, to prepare for the storm if it happens. I mean, it's looking like it will, but what are you gonna do? All right, well, we made it till 2024, folks, and I just want to say it's been a great show, and I want everyone to have a good night. All right, have a good night.